The Soybean School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by Pride Seeds, Aragon LQ Pre-Harvest Weed Control, and Fortenza Vibrance Max Plus Saltro.
Hi, I'm Bernard Tobin. Welcome to the Soybean School. Harvest is rapidly approaching. It's mid-September, and one of the things growers are seeing this year is a lot of uneven maturity across fields. What's happening? I put that question to OMAFRA soybean specialist Horst Bohner. We talked about emergence, we talked about fertility, we talked about genetics. Let's hear what Horst Bohner has to say. Now, Horst, a lot of growers this fall are seeing uneven maturity, uneven senescence. What's going on?
Yeah, it's fairly typical in the soybean world that we have individual fields that don't ripen or senesce evenly. And of course, what we want is a field like this where things come on at the same time, and then of course it aids in harvest timeliness. So there are a number of factors that come into play. One of them, which maybe we don't think about enough, but is a very simple, straightforward answer: they emerged at different times. And you can see that kind of within the field. Maybe it was a bit softer in those areas and the drill sunk a little deeper, or it was a little drier. And you know how beans are, if they're sitting in dry soil, they might take a month to emerge compared to ones that are in moisture. And some of that unevenness is just straightforward emergence. Now here's the cool part. Some growers have moved away from a drill to a planter unit just to get a little better senescence in the fall, more even crop.
What's going on with these odd plants, these seedless plants? Horst, you've got a couple right beside you.
Yeah, so we call these parthenocarpic, and that just means what you said, seedless. And if you see individual plants, maybe just 1% or even 0.5%, here's one, that kind of thing, spread somewhat evenly throughout the field. In the past, we've often talked about, viruses doing that. And yes, it could be a virus, but I'm telling you, most of the time, 9 out of 10 times when we have this, it's a straightforward genetic mutation. And what it is this plant is not able to pollinate properly, and because soybeans are self-pollinating, of course, what you see here are these strange little pods. Sometimes they have a few seeds, sometimes they have none, but overall there's very little sink in terms of the carbohydrates. So the plant has made carbohydrates and now they have no place to go, so the plant is green, right? We don't care too much about those. The real issue is, of course, if a whole section of a field is green, or what the Americans call green stem syndrome. Now that's a little more insidious and a little more difficult to know exactly what's going on, because the plants have maybe just a few less pods, but they're normal, fairly well podded, but the stem is totally green, the pods are ripe, and what do you do in that case? Well, I hate to say it, but you just kind of chew through it. You have to just pull them in and thresh them. Fortunately, we don't have a lot of that in Ontario. It's pretty unusual. Really only after a drought, and some specific varieties seem to be associated with that problem.
What about fertility here, Horst? I mean, may that play a key role here in this unevenness?
Oh, one of the really interesting things I've seen in our fertility trials that we've been doing for over 10 years now is, if you look at the picture that's up now, on the one side where the beans are still green as grass, no fertilizer added. On the other side, beautiful beans, mature, ready to harvest, we added P and K just this spring. Now this is a low testing site. What's going on? Where the beans are green, less pods, therefore that energy that's in the plant, that photosynthate, has no place to go, and the beans don't mature the same. And so sometimes when you see a field that's unevenly emerging, it's actually a sign of low nutrients. And it might be not just K, but also P. Phosphorus does it as well.
Talk about genetics here. You mentioned genetics a little earlier. May our variety choice be impacting this?
Well, I think absolutely. I mean, in terms of this symptomology we were talking about before, There have been in the past varieties that have had a lot of this kind of genetic throwback, but we kind of have bred away from that largely. So if you have a lot of this kind of problem, there's something to think about there, whether that's the variety you want. But typically, you know, it does come down to having the plants emerge at the same time and then having the nutrients available to them, and they will emerge nicely. And if they don't, my advice to you is have a good conversation with your seed dealer, because I'm not sure I like that variety, right?
Final question for you is, you know, as we roll through harvest here, you know, what's the message for growers? Be patient, this will work itself out?
Well, I mean, you get into the question then of, can you apply a pre-harvest aid, right, to try and speed up the process? And the quick answer is really only the leaves drop a little faster, the stems dry a little bit faster, but the seed inside that pod doesn't dry any faster. So there's not much you can do. You know, we kind of speed things up by 1 to 3 days, maybe in the fall with the pre-harvest herbicide application, but it doesn't solve this problem really. And so, yeah, I think you're right. You basically wait it out. Fortunately, you know how beans are, they do finish up fairly quickly, especially with weather like we're having now. Yeah.
Great stuff, Horst. Always fun to have you on Soybean School.
Thank you again. It's been fun.